Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you're on mute. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Vijay Mataji. Nice Kirtan. Okay, let's start with our prayers. Om Jnana-tivrandasya Jnana-jana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahegana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahikana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarupescha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna everyone. So welcome to our next class. So before we get inside 10 chapters, we started the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita last week. So just do a quick recap. So as per this Mayapur guide, we are in the second section. The first section was Krishna is the origin of everything. And now we are in Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Let's do from 10.8 itself. And I can see Rasanand Prabhu in the center. Would you like to say quick summary of 10.8?
Sure, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So this sloga, let me first start with the translation. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly knows this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So as Prabhu, you said this starting of the Chatushloki, 8 to 12. This name was actually to be given by the Sriman Ramanujacharya, providing the condensed philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, being related to the Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Priyojana. So Sambandha is said to be establishing the original relationship with the Lord, while Abhidaya is the process we are talking about, how we have to act according to our constitutional relationship with the Lord. And then the Prayojana is the outcome or the result, that is the ultimate goal of life, which is Krishna Prema. So you gave a nice example like Sambandha. If someone has a desire to buy a house or a car, that's the desire, that's the relationship we develop with an in material world, it's to an object. So for getting that object, some process, we need to get some funds or some accumulation of money for that, maybe either bank loan or debt or from someone we have to get. So that is the process in which we accumulate something to get that relationship. Ultimately, once we get it, we are benefited or enjoying by that. So that's an analogy with related to the material thing. But while when we are coming to the spiritual life, the sambandha is, we know that we are the part and parcel of the Lord, and we lost that relationship. So we are trying, Krishna conscious is nothing but trying to revive that relationship. So to establish the relationship, we are the presiding deity for the sambandha is Radha Madan Mohanji. So Radha Madan Mohan is said to be the sambandha relationship, and the acharya for this is Srila Sanatana Goswami. While coming to the Abhidaya, the process in which we accumulate the devotional service ultimately to reach the goal is the deities are Radha Govindji. And the Acharya for this is Srila Rupa Goswamiji. And then the entire, the Priyojana, the result of it, the presiding deity are Radha Gopinathji. And the Acharya for this is Raghunath Das Goswami. So this is about the Sambandha Abhidaya, which this verse is going to talk about. And if you see, this verse has all the three components what we now discussed. So one is, in the verse talks about this Prabhavo. Prabhavo means the source or the origin of the past. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. So, and the present is the Mat Sarvam Pravartate. So again, Sarvam comes here again, everything. So Sarvasya of all, whereas Sarvam, everything. Prabhava is the source of all, he is the origin of everything. So this is, Pravartate is emanates. So everything comes out from him. So that's the Sambandha. So that is the relationship, subtle. And he is also the maintainer. Because Pravartate is the present state of condition who is maintained. So he is the origin and the maintainer. So Prabhu also quoted Jiva Goswami was saying that the God is the creator and the controller of this entire world, even including material and the spiritual. And the second is Idi Matva Bhajante Mam. So the word Bhajante refers to becoming devoted. That is, we are acting in relationship with the Lord, become devotion. That's a service, that's the action what we are doing. So that's the process. So Bhava Samvitaha. So we have to do that with a great attention. So Buddha, that Buddha means learning, using their intelligence, whatever we learn, we with great attention do the devotional service. So Buddha refers to the head over here, while the Baba here refers to the heart. So with the head and the heart, we have to do this process of bhajante, that is devotional. So that is the Abhidaya. That's the process. And the ultimate result will be the Samanvita, that Bhava Samanvita. So that is getting the love for Krishna. That is the Priyojana. With all the heart, we have to do that. So this is the summary of the verse 10.8, and Krishna will describe how we have to do that process with all the heart in the future verses.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. Very nicely summarized, 5-6 minutes. So this verse, as Prabhuji was explaining, has all the SAP, Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojan. So Prabhuji also said Sambandha deity is Radha Madan Mohan, Abhidaya deity is Radha Govind, Prayojan is Radha Gopinath, and he also mentioned the Acharyas as well. So we have Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, which actually we didn't discuss last time, but Prabhuji added that. So thank you, Prabhu. Now, can someone just quickly explain why Madan Mohan is Sambandha deity? Just a quick one, just for our own understanding. Yes, Jai Dharma Prabhu.
He is the Cupid of the mind, Prabhu. So
Yes.
he attracts attention.
Yes, we all get attracted to Cupid of this world, but he attracts even that Cupid. And why Radha Govind is the Abhidaya deity? Maybe someone else can say.
Because he takes one's senses.
Yes, so he takes over one's senses and give them the real pleasure. So we're all looking for pleasure through our senses, but Radha Govind Ji, so Go means senses and Vind means pleasure. So one who gives pleasure to our senses, of material senses as well. Like when we go to the temple, not only we get a spiritual sense gratification, we also get material sense gratification, obviously from spiritual things. When we see the Radha Gopinath, when we meet with the devotees, when we hear some Katha, Kirtan, when we have nice Radha Gopinath anniversary Prasadam or Narasimha Chaturdashi Prasadam. So it gives pleasure from every single perspective. and that is Radha Govindji. And slowly we start losing the taste in the matter and the material world. And Radha Gopinath is the Prayojan deities. Anyone can say why they are Prayojan deities?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Because they are the ultimate representation of love to Krishna, which are the gopis of Raja.
Thank you, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. So because Gopi Nath, the word here is Gopiyon ke Nath, the Nath, the Swami, the master of the gopis, and gopis are considered one of the best devotees of Lord. He's the Nath, he's the Swami of that. So that is a Prayojan. When Krishna was doing this Ras Leela, dancing with the gopis, that is considered sort of the ultimate union of the soul and the super soul, in the most ecstatic spiritual sense. So we have three deities, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan, and that's how we can also meditate on them. And if we have a trouble in particular thing, we can go to that particular deity and sort of pray to them. And slowly those deities will give us strength to overcome our anarthas in that area. Okay, so let's move forward. So this 10.8 is also considered, now Chaturshloki is considered the summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita, and 10.8 is the summary of the summary. So 10.8 actually includes the full condensed philosophy in this particular one. Now what we're going to read now, 10.9, 10, and 11 is the expansion of 10.8, you can say. So how do we achieve these three steps? That will be explained further in next 3 verses. So let's look at 10.9. Now also I mentioned that Prabhupada has given beautiful references from different literatures, Vedic literatures, about how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because the first line says, Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate. One more thing, actually, what's the difference between prabhavo and pravartate? So Prabhuji has given some indication, just someone can expand. So both it says, I'm the source and everything emanates from me. So it looks like they are same. There is a little difference.
Prabhu is born,
yeah.
Right? So it is born from him, and pravartate is maintaining.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Maintaining the current, the how is maintaining the whole universe and 3 worlds.
Yeah, you got it. As Rasaran Prabhu was saying, the example of Jiva Goswami. So Jiva Goswami explains not only Krishna is the creator, he is also the controller of all the time. And we gave an example of a watch. So watchmaker may be, company X, Y, and Z, but once you pay, $100 to them, this watch is yours. You can burn it, you can put in water, you can play with it, whatever you want. The company cannot sort of say, okay, no, this is my watch. You cannot mistreat the watch. No, you paid the $100. Now it's your watch. But in case of Krishna, you cannot say, I own the material world because I have bought this piece of land. Can you say that? No, Krishna is the controller all the time, all the time. He's the creator, he's the maintainer. And whenever he desires, he can annihilate all of us and all the material world as well. So he's in full control all the time. Okay, let's move to 10.9 and we'll discuss a few more aspects. Who wants to go?
I can help.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please.
Hare Machita madgata prana.
Machita madgata prana.
Bodhayantaha parasparam.
Bodhayantaha parasparam.
Kathyantascha mam nityam.
Kathyantascha mam nityam.
Tushanti charamanti cha.
Tushanti charamanti cha.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So now here, this particular verse in terms of SAP, what aspects it is representing? Any guesses? You know the definition
Abhideya.
of Abhideya, thank you.
And Prayojan of both, and next we'll cover the Abhideya in detail.
Hare Krishna. Mohit Prabhu already knows. Thank you, Prabhu. So it's Abhideya and Prayojana. 2 things are mentioned here, and let's see those 2 things. So, Mat Chitta. What does Chitta mean? Aapke chitta mein kya hai? What is in your chitta? So the obviously translation is their minds are fully engaged in me. Just a little bit more we can dive into here. Chitta roughly refers to mind.
Fully conscious. It is being fully conscious of me.
Fully conscious of me. Okay. Prabhupada writes here mind. Okay, so we have heard two words, mana and chitta. Many times we hear these two words, and many times they are translated as mind, which is fine. But actually, mind represents the outer covering of chitta. If chitta is, say, 100%, man represents the outer surface, like an iceberg. Everyone has seen iceberg, at least in the movies or in a photo. So iceberg, maybe 10 to 20% will be outside and 80% will be inside. We know Titanic drowned because of some iceberg. So the thing which is outside water, you can say that is man. That is like the active man, which is like a RAM, you can say. RAM, some cache is stored. So if you have visited some web pages, they will be stored in cache, and those 20 web pages will be displayed very quickly. And chitta is another 80%, which is deep inside. Those many desires we have not in our man, but in our chitta. And that's why when we talk about purification, not only talking about purification of the mind, but also about the chitta. So both can be translated as mind, but man is the conscious mind, which is just right in our mind right now. And chitta may be deep down desires, which you may not be even aware of it. Because of trillions of births which we have taken in the material world, so many desires are deeply rooted in our heart. And when they will come out, we actually don't know. So there's a little difference there. So Prabhupada translates here, says, mat chitta. So if you look at chitta, like
can we call it a subconscious, Prabhu?
Subconscious mind, yeah, but the deeper subconscious mind. Yes, Prabhuji, you can say that. And a large portion, that's also important. That's also important. Not that what we see, the anarthas which we have right now, and we can feel right, a lot of calm, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, masa, that's there, no doubt. But there's a lot more in it, which we may not be aware at this stage. So Krishna very beautifully is using the word chitta here, not just the mind, like complete consciousness. So Prabhupada writes here, their minds fully engaged in. So word fully is very, very important. Fully engaged in. Mad gata prana. What does prana refers to? Life. Prana can also refers to life, or prana can also refers to the body. So mad gata prana. Their prana are in me. Prana is a big word. In Sanskrit, there's a word called prananath. Many given their complete mind to me, and their complete prana can also be referred to your body. Like you have given your prana means you are giving to your body. So mind is gone, body is gone. And the third one is mind, body, and words. We use that. I think some devotee was telling the acronym BMW. What's the BMW? Body, mind, and words. So it's not material BMW car. Yeah, it was anyway, some devotee. Yes, Prabhuji, I got it. Okay, is that fine now? I think, yeah, his screen is frozen again. Okay, that's fine. I hope it's working. I'll talk to Prabhu later. Sorry, I forgot where I was. Anyone can help me?
You're explaining around the Bodhayanta, Prabhu, speaking about Krishna multiple times, giving an example that.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Jadharma Prabhu is listening nicely. So Krishna becomes our inner home, and inner home, we don't have to say, we have already gone to our home. We would love to go home because we love that security and shelter of our own home. So we would love to go our home again and again. Similarly, a devotee of Krishna may be working in the outside world in a material job, in a business, maybe dealing with hundreds of people, maybe doing so many things. But as soon as he gets an opportunity, where his mind goes to Krishna. Like we know many devotees, they keep coming back to this temple, and sometimes you say, Prabhuji, Mataji, do you ever go home? Every time you come there, that devotee is just there. They have their home, they have their family, but they love Gopinath so much, they just keep coming back again and again and again. So similarly, our physical body may not be able to go to that physical place, but our mind always resides in Krishna. And that is the characteristic of the advanced devotee. Prabhupada writes the very first line in the purport: pure devotees whose characteristics are mentioned here engage themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. So this verse can also be taken as the characteristic of a pure devotee. If you think you're one of them, you should refer it back to this verse, that Machchita Madgata Prana. Is my life reside in Krishna, or my life reside in my family, my money, or in my ego? Machchita, where is my chitta? What I'm thinking constantly, what I'm aspiring for, what are my future plans of? If my future plans are still to, enhance my material security, enhance my material stablement, then probably we are not one of them. And bodhyanta parasparam, when we speak with someone, what do we speak about? It says a person's mind can be read from what he speaks and how often he speaks. So when we speak with different devotees in temple as well, you will know, many will talk about, I remember, I'm looking at Vaikuntha Ashram, Asim Prabhuji gave one class at some place some time ago, probably a year ago. It's a very beautiful class he gave. And immediately after the class, devotees get up and they were just stretching and talking. Few devotees were talking about cricket. And I was like, he just gave such a beautiful class. We should be analyzing the topics of the class rather than talking about some other matter. So we should be very conscious about it. Even if initially we don't like those topics so much, still we should train our mind. Many things we don't like in the material world, we still do it. So why not training ourselves in Krishna consciousness? So a speaker has just given some nice points about Krishna or his devotees. We should analyze those points, meditate on those points, and take home some of them. And that will help us. Other mundane talks, there's no end. My Guru Maharaj said last year, when he arrived to Vrindavan, he said, the first thing I did, I deleted all the news channels. We don't need to know so many news of the world. And if something is extremely important, we'll get to know. Some devotee will tell us what needs to be done. So we don't need to know all these different newses, because they are eventually useless, eventually, in ultimate sense. Now, it's not you disconnect yourself from the material world. The point is, don't overconnect as well, which we usually tend to do, usually. So sometimes whatever is needed, we do that, definitely. If Corona, restrictions are there, we need to know. But the point is, it will come to us naturally. So we don't have to overdo those things. So bodhyanta parasparam, when they're talking to each other, they're preaching about Krishna Katha. Kathayantascha mam nityam. Nityam refers to always, always. Always is a big word. We sometimes take it very casually. It's a word which is always. What they are kathan? Kathan means kehna, speak. So mam nityam, they speak about me all the time. So they preach about me so many times. Why these two lines are different? Many times we speak about Krishna, but we don't absorb Krishna so much in our personal life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says many devotees are very good in intelligent. They are very good devotees, but they're not good in preaching. Some are very good in preaching, but not in following. But a pure devotee is one who has good achar and good prachar. Good achar means his personal examples are perfect, and vichar and prachar means he preaches perfectly. So it's very hard to find these two combinations. Very few are like that, who follow Krishna consciousness perfectly and preach as well perfectly. Many follow perfectly, but they don't go out preaching. Prahlad Maharaj actually condemns those people. They said they're very selfish people who are just following Krishna consciousness for their own. But one who goes and preaches, they are the real ones. They are the real ones. So Prabhupada and his followers are the one who is just not taking Ananda. It's called Goshti Anandi. Goshti Anandi means they sit together and talk about Krishna, but they are not going out. They are not going out. Sorry, I think it's Bhajananandi and Goshti Anandi. Bhajananandi means they are doing their own bhajan. Goshti Anandi means they are preaching. So Prabhupada taught us to become a devotee and tell others about Krishna as much as possible. So if we do all this, if we are doing all this, this is the Abhideya process. What is the prayojan here? Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So Tushyanti refers to Tushta, Santushta. So Tushta means we are satisfied with our current progress. Many times the material world
we may have enough things to survive, but we are not santushta, we are not satisfied. And that's why we go out and do so many other projects, because it doesn't satisfy other hearts. I think what they say, it doesn't give us the kick. Huh? That's what they say. It doesn't give us the kick. Huh? Kick chahiye. Life mein koi kick chahiye. Achha. So yeah, Maya Devi kicks us, keeps us engaged in her seva throughout our life. So Tushyanti refers to Krishna conscious person. This devotee is Tushyanti, completely satisfied. He is not hankering for anything else. Oh, that Krishna has not provided me a good enough house. Krishna has not provided me good enough skills in this area. Let me acquire it and prove to the world. Hum bhi kuch hain bhai. I am also something. Many times we want to prove this world. And when Prabhupada was asked this question, so how do you feel, Swamiji, when you have so many disciples praising you so much? And what's the response of Prabhupada? Rupam Prabhu is telling, what was the response of Prabhupada? Because we feel quite good when 20 people are praising us. We feel, be honest, huh? But there's not much pleasure. Prabhupada said, 20 asses, 20 donkeys are singing your glories. So what does it make a difference for you? Huh? So for Prabhupada, this was just like that. Prabhupada was not attracted to these so-called glories. Huh? So Prabhupada said, if you really want to glorify me, do something for Krishna. That's the real glorification. Prabhupada was asked once, what's the feature of advanced devotee? Prabhupada gave many answers. One time he gave answer, when you come in front of Radha Gopinath, Radha Krishna, when you come in front of the deities, instead of asking from the deities, you ask deities, what can I do for you? So if this feeling come in your heart naturally by going in front of Radha Gopinath, that means you're advancing. Huh? So don't ask Krishna, this is the problem in my life, that is the problem in my life. No, naturally, when you go in front of Radha Gopinath, Krishna, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? And Gopal Krishna Maharaj very nicely says, he says, what can you do for Krishna? What can you do for Krishna? But still, you want to do something for Krishna. That means you're advancing. So we can sort of have a standard for ourselves, not for others, that when we go in front of deities, what sort of feelings come in our heart in front of Gopinath? Is it for giving or is for taking? If it is for giving, it's very nice. It's very nice. And when that feeling will come, because you're constantly giving outside. Huh? So the same.
Prabhu, it could be neither. It could be neither. You don't want to, maybe it's for me, I am not in a position to give because I'm always in a position to ask, but it could also be just thank you, just gratitude, which is on neither side.
Yes, Mother, but thank you is also giving, Mataji. So you're saying thank you to Krishna. That means you're feeling gratitude about what he has provided to you. So that's also like your child comes home and he gives you something nice which you like. And you say, thank you, beta. Huh? So you remembered me. You got something. Not that you need that thing. But when your children or your friend brings something for you, you feel inside, oh, thank you. Thank you. How do you know I like this mango or a rabdi, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, it's also giving, thank you, giving ceremonies we have. And it's again, not a lip service. And we should not do lip service. Some devotee was telling lip service means we still have ego. We still have ego. No, we glorify devotees from the heart. We are so wonderfully serving Krishna, and that's how we get inspiration. Otherwise, saying we are just increasing our ego by saying, oh, Prabhu, I'm so fallen. And he will say, Prabhu, I'm more fallen than you. Then, Prabhu, I'm more fallen than you. And where can I, some devotee was saying, Prabhu, can I dig a hole and I go inside and do dandavats to you and all those things, you know? Just, yeah, a different level altogether. Anyway, so yes, initially we can start from say thank you. Giving does not necessarily mean I give something to Gopinath in a physical sense, but yeah, thank you, Gopinath. I realize what you're giving me. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvida bhajante mam janasukun arjun artho jigyasu artharthi gyani cha patrashva. So in that sense, Krishna acknowledges even if you come for asking. Prabhupada also says in the 9th chapter, 25th verse, he says, many people have this pride that I don't need anything from Krishna. So Krishna says, okay, you come for giving. If you come to my temple for giving, you give. Krishna is saying, you know, you give me. And what Krishna is asking, Prabhupada says, like begging, patram pushpam phalam. Is he begging patram pushpam phalam to him? He doesn't have patta. Vaikuntha pati, Lakshmi Nath, Lakshmi. Sahasrasa Sambram Sevyamanam. Thousands of Lakshmis are serving Krishna. He doesn't have a Tulsi Patta. He doesn't have a Ganga Jal water there, a fruit there. So, but he's saying, please come, because he's hungry for the relationship with the devotee. So in that sense, any relationship when you go in front of Gopinath is very good, no doubt, no doubt. Even if you say, Krishna, give me money, give me good health, no doubt, that's also a good relationship. But eventually, the best is, Krishna, Gopinath, what can I do for you? What I have done today for you? Everything I have done for my body and for my ego, what I have done for Gopinath. Even if you feel like that, a little tinge in your heart, it's great. It's great. And slowly you will see, you'll have that attitude of giving, giving, giving. Prabhupada said to his initial hippie disciples, whenever you come to temple, bring something for Krishna. And they will bring all sorts of different things for Krishna. Someone bring milk, a fruit, someone bring a aloo, I heard, someone bring a potato, like a raw potato. In India, coming from that background, you'll not think, you'll take a banana or something, some affordable fruit. But it was nice, Prabhupada appreciated. Someone brought tissue paper. One drunk person got a tissue paper. Prabhupada really said, thank you, thank you. He got tissue paper, for the temple. So every single little service Prabhupada acknowledged and appreciated from those devotees, because they were trying to follow the instruction of Prabhupada in their own capacities. Anyway, so Tushyanti refers to, he's very, very, very satisfied. And Ramanti, Tushyanti cha, Ramanti cha. Ramanti is a big word actually. So we have a name, Radha Raman, deities. Some devotees send some photos of Radha Raman, very beautiful, chota sa. He's so cute. He was a Shila before, and then he came out as a little deity. Very, very cute deity. So Radha Raman. So what does Radha Raman means, or Ram means? Ram means Radha Raman actually. So one who is doing Raman of Srimati Radharani. So Raman means, two meanings are there. Raman means who takes pleasure out of that association, and also he gives pleasure. So one who gives pleasure to Radharani, that is Radha Raman. And also Raman means usi ke charon aur mandrate rehte. There are some kids, Mama is cooking in the kitchen and Mama will say, go and play with the toys, and kids are always with Mama, always with Mama. It's like, go out, play. So that is Raman, never leaving, never leaving. And also Raman can also be used in Madhurya Rasa sense. So Madhurya Rasa, at least in Gaudiya Sampradaya, that is our mood, to serve Krishna in that rasa eventually, if that's our constitutional position. So Tushyanti means satisfied, being satisfied with the current position. So a devotee does not have any lacking in his or her life, and he's very satisfied, very, very satisfied, because he's doing this Krishna Katha all the time with everyone. His whole prana is in Krishna. And Ramanticha means eventually he enjoys so much bliss in Madhurya Rasa, which is considered the highest bliss. Devotees, pure devotees, eventually actually experience that in their life. So this is considered as the Prayojan part of this verse. Now let's go to the next one. Now, how do you sort of get that bliss, which is taught in 10.9? Let's read 10.10. Anyone can read that?
Can I read?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, please.
Tesham satapayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. Translation: to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Hare Krishna.
So Tesham Satata Yuktanam. So Tesham refers to those devotees which we have spoken in 10.9. So what is the characteristic of the pure devotees which we read in 10.9? That is what is being referred by word Tesham. What are they doing? Satat Yuktanam. So Yukta, what does Yukta mean? So Yukta, a general sense you can say, is engaged, but Yukta means Yukti. Yukti means intelligence. So you are not only engaged, like you tell someone to make sabji. So one is to make sabji, and one is to make sabji with so much intelligence. I'm looking at Mother Divya. When she has to make a sabji, she will make, I don't know how many I was in Vaikuntha Ashram once, and Bhakti Rasamant Maharaj was also there. We were serving some lunch prasadam, and we took some plates in front of Maharaj, lunch, and Maharaj said, "This is to eat or to see?" It was so nicely decorated, and Maharaj said, "Iska to bas photo le lenge." So it's not just the prasadam; it's the presentation part of it as well. And many devotees have this skill. You have to decorate Gopinath. Today, someone offered a nice garland to His Holiness Devamrit Maharaj while he was giving initiation. Actually, it was Akhand Rasa Prabhu. Akhand Rasa Prabhu offered that garland. And it was such a beautiful garland. Even Maharaj acknowledged right on the spot, "Oh, beautiful garland." Huh? So whoever made it, I don't know. It was so nicely made, so detailed. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj always says, the advancement is in detail. Advanced devotee is always in detail. Huh? So it's not like just doing the work. Okay, khana bana diya, you made the prasadam. That's all right. But detail, that's the sign of advancement. Huh? So when we become detailed about our own kid, about our own parents, we want to serve our kid very nicely, serve our parents or our family very nicely. Why? They are my family. So Krishna is also our Krishna. Devotees are our devotees. They are our brothers and sisters. So we want to serve them very nicely. So it says, Yukti in devotion life is very, very important. Very, very important. Yukti means you have to put your intelligence to do the job. So not just be engaged in the job, put your intelligence. So this is called Satat Yuktanam. So devotees are constantly meditating. How can I expand the moment? How can I do this seva which has been given to me so nicely? Even if you give the smallest seva, they will expand it. They will put this spoon and that spoon. They will decorate with this and that. It will look, wow, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. So that is called Yukti. So don't just think it's just engaged. It is Yukti Purvak engagement. Yukti Purvak means putting your full intelligence. How can I do this best for my Lord? When Hanumanji went to Lanka, what was his initial purpose to go to Lanka? Everyone knows that. To find out about the mother Sita. Simple, right? That was the purpose. But did he solve that purpose plus something else as well? He burnt half of the Lanka as well. No? He showed to Ravan, as an army, we are so strong. We are so strong. Either you hear Ram's message or you be ready for destruction. He gave that message. And when Ram came to know, Lord Ram came to know, he was so happy. He was so happy. He embraced Hanumanji. So this is called first-class servant. First-class servant always knows the desire of the Swami, of the master. So Tesham, Satat Yuktanam. And what are they doing Yuktanam? So we also doing Yukti, but what do we use our Yukti for? We all use our intelligence, but for what purpose? Sense gratification. Be honest. Most of the time, if not all the time. Sense gratification. How can I enjoy the most? Even if it's a relationship between family members or friends or in your office, you just want to be on the top. Once Prabhupada was visiting Japan, and there was a book publisher. So he published in the beginning Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada wanted to meet with him and say sort of thanks to him. And he went to this person. He's a local Japanese person, a businessman. So Prabhupada is in a conversation asked him, so what's the goal of your life? And this man took a bunch of visiting cards from his pocket and he showed me. So I am so-and-so, I'm the owner of this company, but this company actually, I'm a subsidiary of this company. He showed another card and he's the boss of that. He's the subsidiary of another company and he's this boss, that boss. So he sort of made a hierarchy of 4 or 5 people. And then eventually he put out his own visiting card and he put his own visiting card on top of all the other visiting cards. And he said, this is what I want to be. I want to be the boss of the boss of the boss of my boss. So Prabhupada says, Dhanyo, thank you. So this is the goal of your life, to become, you are working under all these managers and you want to become their manager. That's all. So this is what we use our yukti for. Most of the people in the world, isn't it? They want to be the best in their field. So, but yukti, the yukti should be used in bhajan. Bhajan, Prabhupada always translated. This comes from actually Jiva Goswami, devotional service. And in NOD we'll read about it. Active devotional service, not just emotional. Oh, Krishna, I love you. Krishna, I love you. Krishna, I want to expand your movement. Krishna, I want to preach about you. But you're just sitting and saying it. You're not doing anything about it. It's called active devotional service. So bhajan mein yukti lagani hai. Where our yukti, intelligence, our plans, aspirations should reside in our bhajan. And how that bhajan should be done? The characteristic is given Preeti Purvakam. So we do a lot of material activities with Preeti when it comes to Krishna consciousness. We are just completely mechanical, many times, mechanical. 16 rounds ho gaya, Bhagavad Gita assignment ho gaya. Just on that, many devotees have sent me a lot of nice love. So thank you. I'm just saying for the sake of class here. But no, some people literally in their assignment put their heart, you can see that they have worked so hard for that assignment. You look at the assignment, you really feel good. And some you see cut and paste, and all those things you can just see from there. So heart should be there in the service, because service is done for the pleasure of the Lord. Radhanath Maharaj says very nicely, I don't remember the exact words, but Maharaj said, the service should be done for the purpose for the person whom we are serving, not for us. When you feel the pleasure, that's not so big. The person whom you are serving should feel pleasure. Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. It was so nice. So the person should be pleased. Many times even in service, we look for our benefit. Hamara kya fayda hai? So are we going to get pleasure out of that service? And Gauranga Prabhu said, that's not called service. That's called leisure activity. You like it, you go to temple, you may sweep the floor. That's nice. But if you take a commitment, I'm going to come and sweep the temple floor every single day or every single week. Now, it may be inconvenient for you for one particular week. You still go and do that cleaning service, for example. That's called seva. That's called seva. So we should all encourage to do the seva. Seva means even if you're inconvenient, even there are 100 obstacles in front of you, the seva may be the simplest seva of the world, but if you continue doing it, then you get the result. An example is given. What's the devotee's name in Vrindavan who was getting this Jamuna water? I think Jiva Goswami was there. Jiva Goswami was, and there's another devotee. I forgot the name, to be honest. Shyamanand Prabhu. Anyway, so he was told to bring Jamuna water. Now, he was such a scholarly person. And what he was told, to bring the Yamuna water and sweep the floor in Vrindavan. And he was one of the best scholars of his time. He did not argue to his Guru. Guru Maharaj, do you know my caliber? I'm such a great person. I'm authority in my field of Sanskrit. I've written hundreds of verses. Even Jiva Goswami, if you know, he's our Siddhanta Acharya. He has written lot more verses than his own gurus, which is like Siksha Gurus, I mean. The Guru is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that sense. So he has written 400,000 Sanskrit verses. 400,000 Sanskrit verses. Now, we would not have even read 400,000 verses in our life so far. And hopefully we'll not even read 400. For exam, I sometimes ask, how many verses? I don't know, Rupam Prabhu 10, 11 verses, and that becomes a headache for devotees. Prabhuji, verse exercise is too scary. I'm like, really? 10, 12 verses? Our Siddhanta Acharyas has written, not copied, written 400,000 verses. And we're not supposed to cram all of them, but 10, 12 verses, we are supposed to do it. And that's how are we going to do Bodhyanta Parasparam, Kathayanta Shamam Nityam. Nityam word is used there. So Preeti Purvakam is very important, not with grudgingly, not resentfully, not just for the sake of doing it mechanically. To start with, it's all right. That's not a problem, but slowly Preeti has to come. Preeti means Krishna is my Lord. Krishna is mine. I am Krishna. So I'm doing it for this beautiful relationship, which I'm trying to establish with my Lord. I'm cooking a simple sabji and roti for my Lord, but that should be done with a lot of Preeti. It doesn't have to be, 56 dishes. That's not a problem. If that's possible, yes, go for it. But just something little bit, even if cleaning the floor, do it very nicely. My Guru Maharaj gave one example when he was young. He joined the temple in Vrindavan. He was given a cleaning service of the guest house. So he cleaned the room and then he said, I put all the dust under the carpet and I finished the seva. I came out of the room. And then he said, but my heart said, that's not right. No one is going to see under the carpet. But he said, I know, I haven't done the right thing. So I went back in the room. I picked up all the rubbish and I took it out. Then I was happy. It's a simple seva of cleaning. But how do you clean the floor for Krishna? So it's every single thing which we do, we should do with Preeti, with understanding. And now Preeti is not going to come in one day overnight. So don't expect. It will be there on the day one, but it will come if you consciously nurture that relationship. It takes time, but it happens. A mundane example, sorry, in Hindi movies, we say, hero is after heroine or heroine is after hero. It takes time. A lot of beatings come, a lot of things happen behind the scenes. Oh, really, I really like you and something like that. So it happens. And this is what we are doing. We are reading more and more about Krishna. We are listening more and more about Krishna so that our Preeti, which we already have, gets awakened again. So bhajatam Preeti Purvakam. And then what Krishna will do? So many times Bhagavad Gita, I've sort of said, first line is the process, second is the result. So if you do Satat Yukta Nam Bhajan with intelligence, you try your best. If you have Preeti in that seva, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, I will give you that Buddhi Yoga. So what does yoga mean here? A simple one, connection. So many times we try to connect, we are disconnected. Many times devotees ask this question, Prabhu, I'm so confused. Everyone would have experienced that. I don't know what to do. I don't know what Krishna desires. So this is the answer. This actually verse is the answer of so many practical life questions, so many practical life questions. You name it and you find the answer in this particular verse. Most of the time, the problem is we are not doing Satat Bhajan of Krishna, or if we are doing Satat Bhajan of Krishna, we are not doing Preeti Purvakam. And that's why we are confused in our heart. If you're constantly doing Satat Bhajan of Krishna, if you're doing with Preeti, Krishna himself will guide you from within what needs to be done in this particular situation. What needs to be done. And there's loads and loads of things which can be solved just with this one particular verse, 10.10. If you follow this nicely, don't worry about the second part. Second part is Krishna's. I think one class, Radha Govind Maharaj was explaining, or actually one of his disciples was explaining, that when we talk about Sarv Dharmanam Paritejmam Ekam Sharanam Raja Antam Sarapapyabhyo, that verse. So it says, what is our job is to do the first line. Sarv Dharmanu Paritejmam Ekam Sharanam Raja. Now you don't worry about it. Oh, Krishna, I'm very dirty. I have a lot of calm in my heart. I have a lot of krodh. I have a lot of this anartha, that anartha. He said, you don't worry about all that. What you have to worry about, Sarv Dharmanu Pariteja, and take exclusive shelter of Krishna. And then it's Krishna's job. An example he gave, Maharaj gave very nicely. He said, if there's a small child, 6 months old baby, I'm sure Vijay Gopi Mataji, Rasan and Prabhuji is enjoying those nights, wet nappies, changing nappies and all that things. So does Mataji or Prabhuji will complain, oh, my dear granddaughter, you're so dirty. First you get fresh, then you come in my lap. Do you say that to your granddaughter? Or you say, no, you're dirty, I'll clean you. Because she has done Sarva Dharmanu Pariteja. She has taken shelter in this family. So you don't have to sort of tell her that you go and clean yourself first, then come in my lap. No, your lap will be available all the time, whether she is dirty or she is not dirty. If she is dirty, what you will do? You will go and clean. So our job is just to take complete shelter. Now imagine if there are two families are taking care of that little child, then sometimes we feel, oh, why that family is not taking care? Why only me? But if someone has taken a little child, in this case, taken complete shelter with one person or with one family, will that family ever say, why me? Why I have to change the nappy? Why not my neighbor? And this little child will say, but I have taken shelter in your family. So if we have taken shelter in Krishna, exclusively with Krishna, like really with the heart, will Krishna ever complain to you? Yaar, you are so dirty. Look at you. You have so much anger in you. You get greedy. Krishna cannot say that. But Krishna still says, because we have not taken exclusive, because we have in our mind, I have a job which pays me good money. I have bank account. I'm very intelligent. So many people knows me in the community. I give good classes. I am a good cook. I have so many things. I have so many material things to take shelter of. One example given in Ramayana, just for an example, Lord Ram, when he was praying to Samudradev, the ocean god, for 3 days, the ocean god did not work. So Acharyas do a commentary on that. He says, Lord Ram is teaching surrender throughout Ramayana, but when he surrenders, his surrender doesn't work. He's teaching surrender, isn't it? Hanuman is taking shelter, that little squirrel is taking shelter, all the monkeys and bears who has no intelligence. They are taking shelter, their shelter. Lord Ram is perfectly sort of, giving everyone perfect shelter. But when he takes shelter of Samudra the shelter doesn't work. He gets angry at Samudra after 3 days. What's the reason? Because Lord Ram, in his mind, had backup plans. If Samudra Devata doesn't listen to me, I have arrow in my quiver anyway. So I will dry up the samudra. So because he had backup plans, the surrender did not work. So same applies in our case. We all have our backup plans. If Krishna doesn't, if a temple doesn't provide me, X, Y, and Z, I still have something to deal with. I can still survive in the material world. I have so many friends and I have so much money. I have so much intelligence. I have my prabhav in my society and all those things. So they are called, as per Prahlad Maharaj, durashraya, false shelter. So if we are taking shelters of false shelter, Krishna says, go for it. Go for it. Don't worry about me. And that's why this shelter doesn't work. But when we take exclusive shelter of Krishna, Krishna, I have no other shelter except you. Krishna immediately picks a child and embraces the child. Don't worry about my dear child. I will take care of you. I'll take care of you. But because we don't take that exclusive shelter of Krishna, we struggle. We struggle. Till the time we will take exclusive shelter under Krishna. And then there is no trouble. And Prabhupada said, how long will it take for one to become devotee? He said, one moment. Prabhupada said very authoritatively, only one moment. All you have to say go in front of Krishna and say, Krishna, I've been serving Maya for so many years. Now, from this moment onwards, I am yours. Please take care of me. And Lord Ram says, when Vibhishan bows down the head in front of Lord Ram, he says, Sakrade prapannoyam tav asmai iti yachate abhyam sarvada tasmai dadami etat vartam mama. Sakrade prapannoyam. Even once if someone surrenders unto me, tav asmai, I am yours. Iti yachate. Aisa mangta hai. He begs for it. He begs for it. Everyone has been from it. Actually, they are from India. So you're standing on a red light. If a beggar knocks your window, some Babuji, 1 rupee de do. Someone begs for a 1 rupee or. So you open the window, you look at this. He's in rags. He looks hungry. He's looking medically sick. You'll take out 1 rupee or 2 rupees, something like that. Now, if a beggar says to you, Babuji, I have 2 Mercedes and I have 2 bungalow. And I have 3 servants in my house. Can you please give me another 5,000 rupees? What you will say? Get out. Something like that, Something like that. Will that beggar get the begging alms from you? Be honest. Forget it. Forget it. Even taking 1 or 2 rupees out is difficult and sometimes we doubt. So this is our situation. We go in front of Radha Gopinath and say, Radha Gopinath, I only have 5 investment properties. My job only pays me $200,000. And, I have, 30 so-called followers. And Krishna says, okay, get out from here, Get out. He doesn't say like that, but, he doesn't care so much about it because we feel in our heart, we have so many other shelters, But if you go to Krishna with that heart, Krishna, I have really no other shelter except you. From the heart. Do you think Krishna will accept us or no? Why not? He's our supremely loving Father. Priyamanaya. This word is used by Krishna in 10.1. Priyamanaya. I can't remember the whole verse, but he said, Priyamanaya, you're very dear to me. That's why I'm giving you this knowledge. Paramam vacha. Shunu me paramam vacha. Listen my supreme instruction. And these are the supreme instructions of Krishna. So I will give dadami buddhi yogam tam if you take complete shelter of me. And how do you do that? Bhajatam priti purvakam. Satat bhajan and with priti. And what will the result of that? Okay, so you give me buddhi yoga, you give me intelligence, then what that intelligence will lead into? The final prayojan here is yena mamu priyante. You will come back to me. Jan karm chame divyam evam yoveti tatta tyakta deham punarjanma naiti mameti arjun. So that sort of principle is being detailed, explained in this particular verse. Yena mamu priyante. You will come back to me. How? I'll give you intelligence, what to do and what not to do. How I will give you intelligence? Because you are doing bhajan with priti. Satat bhajan, constant bhajan with priti. Okay? It's a beautiful verse. This verse is like you can sit and talk and talk and talk. Every single word can be opened into so many multiple layers actually. Okay, we'll go to the last one in this Chatushloki. Anyone can read that, whoever has not read. I just see Madhuri Mataji. I can read. If you like.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Tesham evanukampartam.
Tesham evanukampartam.
Aham ajnanajam tama.
Aham ajnanajam tamaha.
Nashayami Atma Bhavasto
Nashyami Atma Bhavastho
Jnana Deepena Bhasvata.
Jnana Deepena Bhasvata.
Translation: to show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is again the extension of 10.10. You can say when Krishna said Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tams, how do I give you intelligence? So Krishna sort of expanding that point. So Tesham, again Tesham refers to the people who are doing Satatiktana with Priti. Eva Anukampartham. So Anukampa refers to Anukampa. Anukampa means to show them special mercy. So when you see some bad things in the world, your heart wants to do something for those people or for those beings. That's called Anukampa. You want to do something. Huh? There are 3 words in English. There's apathy. Apathy refers to you become indifferent to those people. Huh? You see some animals are getting slaughtered. You're like, okay, that's fine. Huh? Apathy. And something called sympathy. You feel something in your heart that, oh, they're so poor animals. Huh? They're getting killed mercilessly. That's not good. So that's called sympathy. Another word is empathy. Empathy refers to a higher degree of sympathy where you feel so much pain, you really want to do something. No, this has to be stopped. I'm going to do something about it. This is not correct. Huh? That's called empathy. And they call it, you putting yourself in other shoes, because other shoes means if you were there and getting killed like that, how much pain you will have. That's called empathy. So Vaishnavas are par dukh dukhi. Huh? You heard this? Par dukh dukhi and par sukh sukhi. And right now what we are? Par dukh sukhi. When we see someone else in misery, we become, see, his karmic reactions are coming. See, he was doing so much drama, this and that. Huh? We become sort of happy in our heart. We may not express with our face, but internally, अच्छा हुआ, बहुत अच्छा हुआ. Very good, very good. Huh? Krishna, finally, you get the reaction. So that's not a Vaishnava. Vaishnava is par dukha dukhi. For his own dukkha, he's never dukhi. He's tushta, as we read in the previous one. He's tushyanti. He doesn't complain to Krishna ever. He gets dukkha, he said, oh, Krishna is great mercy. He gets sukha, Krishna is great mercy. But for par dukkha dukhi and par sukha sukhi, is the jivas are happy, they are happy. Huh? So anukampa. So Krishna looks at us in our situation and he has anukampa. Anukampa means he really wants to do something. Yeah? His heart is kampan. Kampan means shaking. In Ramayana, we read this commander of in Janisthan, Khar Dushan has this commander called Akampan. Akampan refers to who does not do kampan, does not shake. And Akampan was the only one which Lord Ram left knowingly, who could fly from India to Lanka and give this news to Ravan. His name was Akampan. Akampan should not shake. But when he come in front of Ravan, he was shaking like anything. And Ravan said, your name is Akampan. Why are you trembling so much? Huh? So Akampan, Anukampa means heart is trembling with want to do something. So Krishna's heart also, when he sees us, does want to do Anukampa. So how Anukampa he does? Aham Agyana Jamtama. Agyana Jamtama means Tama refers to darkness, and darkness which is born of ignorance. So we have ignorance that we are the body, and enjoying this body is the best possible way to live in the world. That is our Agyan, that's our ignorance. Jivara Sarupa Krishna Nityadas. Our Nitya Sarupa is being Krishna's servant and serve Krishna. But when we try to serve ourselves, what happens? Which is Agyan, we actually go in Tama, we go in darkness. So darkness which is born out of ignorance, Nashyami, I kill that. Huh? So how do you kill outer darkness? By switching on the light, like just now Gaur Gopal switched on the light of this room. Huh? So the darkness is dissipated. So similarly, we have an inner darkness as well. So how do you switch on inner room's light? There's no AGL or Energy Australia which can connect to our inner heart and say, please put a light bulb there. That AGL or Energy Australia is only Krishna or Shastra or his representative. So Nashyami Atma Bhavasto. And what do I do? Jnana Deepena Bhasvata. One of the definitions Sri Prahlad Prabhu gave very nicely of Diwali is how to celebrate Diwali. Sri Prahlad Prabhuji said The best way of celebrating Diwali is inside your heart. Inside your heart, you have this diya of knowledge, the lamp of knowledge. When you have that lamp of knowledge inside your heart, that's the real celebration of Diwali. External lamps you can do, and that's all right, but that's not the real Diwali, because external lamps will go away. All the lights of the this so-called opulences of life, they will all go away. They will all go. They're very short-lived. But the inner knowledge, inner lamp of knowledge is very, very important. Who lights that inner lamp of knowledge? Krishna, or his representative. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my Guru Maharaj, he has given me this beautiful present of lighting, of putting this darkness away from my heart. So, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya. He has given the ointment of jnana in my eyes, so that I can see what is right, what is wrong. It's called jnana chakshu. Jnana chakshu means we see everything in the material world with the chakshu, with the eyes of jnana. We sort of filter that knowledge. Is it really beneficial for my Krishna consciousness or no? If it is not beneficial for my Krishna consciousness, I have nothing to do with it. Otherwise, anything, if we can engage in Krishna service, we have no problem. We have no problem with the money. We have no problem with intelligence. We have no problem with your power. We have no problem with anything, as far as that thing, that possession, opulence can be used in Krishna service. But if it is an obstacle in doing Krishna service, what do? Close our eyes. We become Ranganath. If it is useful for Krishna service, we become Jagannath. Take it, more money. Prabhupada said, you give me all the money of the world, because I know how to use it. Now, if that much money comes to us, we become mad. So it's best if Krishna gives us, less money. Someone says for the best development of someone's life, 3 things are needed. Little less money than what you need. Little less, not too less, little less. So you respect money. Little less health than needed. Because if you are fully healthy, you will not appreciate others' situation. You'll say, "Arey yaar, I'm so healthy, you will not feel others' pain." And he said, you should have one critique around you. One person should be around you who sort of critiques you. If these 3 things are there in our life goes very fast, in a right direction. So if you only have people who are buttering you, sorry, this is not going to advance you. They may butter you. They may look at your position. They may look at something in you which they get benefit of, and they say, "Oh, Prabhuji, you are so nice. Mataji, no, we need someone to critique." Once Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj was giving some classes in a particular area. This one person will get up in the class, in the middle of the class, and will start asking very challenging question to Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj. And he will say many bad things as well. And his disciples will become very angry at this person. And they will sort of get angry, and Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj will say, no, let him speak. And then he goes to another class in the same city, for example. He will come there as well. He will follow everywhere, wherever Maharaj go and gives classes. He will sit in every class of Maharaj. After a while, Maharaj did not see this person, and he has told his disciples not to disrupt him. He said, "I am not seeing this gentleman." And the disciple said with a great relief, "Maharaj, he's dead." Now imagine if we were there, we'll be like, "Yay, thank you, Krishna. Finally, He was challenging Maharaj in every class, and he was saying bad words about Maharaj and so many other things. But Maharaj never said anything to him. And you know what? The reaction of Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj was, he started crying, literally. The tears coming out of his eyes, and he said, "He was my friend, he was correcting me." When I heard that, I'm like, what is the level of these acharyas? Here we cannot even take a little critique. If someone criticizes us, even once, slightly, even unknowingly or unintentionally, we feel bad. Are mujhe aisa bola? You said this thing to me? Do you know me? I'm so big. I'm such a great devotee. I've been serving Gopinath for so many years. This, that. And here's someone. And his disciples were there. He could have told his disciples, "Chalo, usko jara dekh lena, just see this person after the class." And they would have done it. Their Guru Nishtha. But he told his disciples not to say anything. Later he was crying. "Oh, he was my friend. He was correcting me." Amazing, amazing sort of mindset our acharyas have. Where does it come from? Jnana Deepen Bhasata. Krishna has given that knowledge. So if you root it back to the previous verse, how Krishna is going to do this? So he's going to give us the Dami Buddhi Yogam, which sort of he expands in 10.11. And why he will get Dami Buddhi Yogam? Because we are doing bhajan with Preeti and with Satat Yukti. So what's the bottom line you can say? What's the takeaway point you can say? What we should start doing, don't worry what Krishna is going to do. And if there is any interruptions where we get discouraged in our devotional life, we should look back at our life. What are we not doing correctly? This is what we are not doing correctly. If we correct this part, everything else will be aligned. Believe me or not, everything will be aligned. And if we just focus on this part and try to enhance this part as much as possible with full yukti, with intelligence, and it may not be a big project. Radhesham Prabhu said very nicely in the class, you don't have to become a big devotee or a great devotee. You just try to become a good devotee. Good means authorized, bona fide devotee. You're a devotee at 5 a.m., you're a devotee at 5 p.m., you're a devotee at 10 p.m. You're a devotee. And he said, what's the definition of a character? What do you do when no one is around you? That's the definition of your character. Many times we talk big things. All of us may know a lot of philosophy, a lot of shlokas, a lot of degrees, Bhakti Shastri, Evo. But what is your character? What do you do when no one is around you? So that's how we can judge ourselves. Where are we? And if we are a good devotee, we are a good devotee. We may not be a leader, this and that. That's fine. But if we are a good devotee, he says, in the process of being a good devotee, you'll become a great devotee. Dhruv Maharaj did not step out of the house to become a great Vaishnava, which his name will come in Bhagavatam, this and that. No, he just followed the instruction of his Guru Maharaj. He became a good devotee. So all of us, in our own sense, if we just try to become a good devotee, I should chant my rounds nicely. I should read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita nicely. I should do my little services given by my seniors nicely. Maybe cleaning seva, cutting, chopping, making, cooking, speaking, whatever. Little sevas we have been given. Do that seva nicely and be good in that. Good means put your best. Put your best. And then you don't have to worry, oh, this person is making $10 million project. This person is, leading another 1,000 people, this and that. That's okay. That's okay. We don't have to aspire for those things. If Krishna desires, he will make us do those great things as well. But our purpose should be right now, should be becoming a great devotee or a good devotee. Great, everyone should recognize me. My name should be on internet. I should have my 100 YouTube videos and 2 million views, this and that. Should we aspire for that? Yes? Madhuri Mataji is fully convinced, yes? No? Tanya Mataji, Madhuri Mataji, thank you. So that's what I'm just repeating what I've heard, and I really like that. I really like, because it is in my access. This is my access. I can do that in my own way. Great, that Krishna will decide. Prabhupada even said, I did not expect this much success, but Krishna made me so successful. Prabhupada said that. Prabhupada said, I never expected this much success. He said, my God brothers were more scholarly than me, were more greater than me. But Krishna chose me to do this seva. He was so humble, so humble. He said, I had no qualification, but my Guru Maharaj and Krishna made me do so much. I did not expect this much success. So we can take some takeaway points. Okay, Prasannan Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can you please explain more about that ignorance which Krishna is talking about here?
Ignorance. Okay, so very clearly, Ajnana Jamtama. Ignorance born out of Ajnana. Now we'll read in Nectar of Devotion. There are 5 different types of it. I'll not say in too much detail. So because of Ajnana, ignorance, and the root cause of ignorance, we don't identify ourselves as the part and parcel and servant of Krishna. As I said, Jivera Sarupa, Krishna Nityadas. So that's the bottom line. And because we are not identifying ourselves correctly from the bottom line, what happens? We go in a complete different direction. So there's a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I can't remember fully, but it says, Atmendriya Pritivancha Dhare Kam Nam. So Atmendriya, if you're trying to satisfy your own senses, Dhare Kam Nam. Kam means kamna, desire. It can be taken, a male-female attraction or a very small things as well, whatever. Atmendriya Pritivancha. And Krishna Indriya Pritivancha Dhare Prem Nam. So if you're trying to satisfy Indriya, senses of Krishna, Dhare Prem Nam. So that is called love. So very simple actually to do that. So if you are satisfying your senses, that is calm. If you satisfy Krishna's sense, that's prem. Now, what happens with most of us, and most of the time, we are into our sense gratification most of the time. So why are we doing that? Ignorance. And what is that ignorance? The root cause of ignorance? We don't identify ourselves with our constitutional position. Radha Govind Maharaj gave a simple example. You take a fish out of the water and you put that fish in a throne made up of diamonds and jewels, and say, fish, what are you doing in the water? Dirty water. Come and sit in this diamond throne. You give her, desi ghee ka halwa, rasmalai, pudi. You do a chamar on that fish. Will the fish be happy? Oh, thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me such a nice prizes, nice prasad. Will she be happy? No. Fish constitutional position is to be in the water. She's happy there. Now, this is exactly what we are trying to do. We are trying to enjoy ourselves in big car, big houses, big reputation, big show off of our body or intellect or of our rupa. All this we are trying to do. And the bottom line is we will never be happy with all those things alone. Yeah, if they are done in Krishna's service, no problem. That is no problem. So that's our root cause of ignorance. And ignorance leads to avidya, leads to kama. And that karma leads to all these different problems. Okay. Okay, let's move forward to 10.12. Now, before we move to 10.12, just a little connection between 10.11 and 10.12. So now Krishna basically, Acharya has explained. Where did Krishna start explaining Bhagavad Gita in reality? If you say it's 2.11, roughly speaking, when Krishna starts speaking. So from 2.11 to 10.11, Krishna has spoken everything. And in one sense, Krishna has given all the instructions we needed to be given to Arjuna. And now from here, 10.12 to 10.18, I guess, Arjuna will sort of, when you finish the class, you say any questions or comments, we have an opportunity to interact. So a student may say, oh, thank you, my dear teacher, I understood the topic or did not understand the topic, something like that. So our Acharya has explained up to this point, Krishna has sort of given all the instructions which he wanted to give. And Arjuna now will sort of summarize those instructions and give his conclusion. And Bhagavad Gita basically finishes here. Sort of. But it will expand for other reasons. So now Arjuna is going to give his conclusion, his understanding about Krishna, because Krishna has just spoken about himself, right? So Arjuna will give his understanding of Krishna through these beautiful verses. We will see how deep these verses are from Arjuna, and that is his conclusion. But for the sake of Lokahita, for the sake of others' seva, others' understanding, Arjuna will again ask a question, a series of questions, you can say. In principle, only one question, where Krishna will again expand for Lokahita. Now, Arjuna's doubts are actually completely gone from this point onwards. Arjuna has no more doubt. Arjuna initially has had doubts about his service. Now Arjuna has no more doubts. Krishna has given what he wanted to give. So in one sense, Bhagavad Gita sort of finished here. But for Lokahita, we'll go in another direction from 10.19 onwards. So let's see what Arjuna's conclusion is at this stage. Who wants to read? Manmohan Prabhu? One of the very, very, very famous verses.
Thank you, Prabhu. Arjuna Vacha. Parabrahma Param Dhama.
Param Dhamam.
Pavitram Paramam
Bhavan.
Purusham Shashvatam
Divyam.
Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. Ahustvam
Rishaya Sarve.
Deva Rishir Naradas Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Translation. Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So this, again, a very, very famous verses or a series of verses by Arjuna, where he is giving the conclusion of his understanding of Krishna so far, after Krishna has spoken the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. So Param Brahma. So Brahma refers to, many times Mayavadis use this famous line, Aham Brahmasmi. That consciousness, and Prabhupada also said, we have no problem with Aham Brahmasmi. So when we say Aham Brahmasmi, this is fine. We are also Satchit Ananda. And Prabhupada very frequently said this, that we are also qualitatively one with the Lord, but quantitatively very different from the Lord. And he said, a particle of a gold and a gold mine are two very different things, although it is also a gold. A drop of ocean water is also, you can say, qualitatively same with the ocean, but quantitatively huge difference. So Arjuna is saying, we are not Brahma. So we are Brahma, definitely we are Brahma, but you are what? Param Brahma. You are Param Brahma. So one example which I heard from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, I really liked it. And he said, I can say I'm Indian, Prabhuji is saying, and the Prime Minister of India will also say I'm Indian. But because we both are Indian, can I say I'm the Prime Minister of India? That will be a stupid statement. So I'm Indian, that's fine. He's Indian, that's fine. So there is a common feature. So when Jiva and Paramatma is said to be the same, yes, they are same. Because as I said, the qualitative, they are Satchidananda. But the quality of Satchidananda in Krishna and quality of Satchidananda in Jiva is very, 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 very different. So, but who you are Parabrahma. We cannot say we are Parabrahma. You are Krishna, you are Parabrahma, you are the Supreme. Param Dhama. The Dhama refers to the abode. Dhama also refers to the supreme shelter. So Dhama, Krishna, you are the supreme shelter of everyone. Krishna said in 9th, Matisthani Sarva Bhutani, all the Bhutas, all the Jivas reside in me. So Arjuna is saying, Param Dhama, you are the supreme shelter. All the other shelters, as I was discussing earlier, are called false shelters. They are Durashrayaha, but Krishna is the supreme shelter. Prabhupada was speaking to his disciples and he said, out of humility, obviously, he said, I can let you down, but Krishna will never let you down. Krishna will never let you down. So our relationship with Krishna will never see Krishna cheating us. Many relations in this material world cheat us. They misunderstand us, misrepresent us, does not acknowledge the services which we may have rendered in those relationships. But any service you have done for Krishna, even Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, it says, you may forget what you have done for Krishna. Krishna will never forget what you have done for Krishna. This is amazing, isn't it? In material world, it's exactly other way. We do so much for others and everyone, and if you do one mistake, people just forget everything what you have done and just focuses on that one point which you may have done by mistake. But in case of Krishna, even if you have not served Krishna for millions of life, in one life, you take one flower, one street flower to Krishna and say, Krishna, this flower is for you. Do you think Krishna will not notice that flower? He will delete from the record. Arey, khali ek phool diya hai. You have only given me one flower. I given you $50 million in your bank account. You only given me one flower. What Krishna is going to say? Thank you, beta. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this beautiful flower. Who has grown the flower? Who has made the flower, grown the flower, given the sunlight for the flower? Who has given you ability to walk to temple, this consciousness to give something to Krishna? But still, he has done everything. Still, he says, thank you, my dear child. Thank you for doing this little seva. Imagine the same scenario in the material world. Will it work? Will anyone say, thank you for giving a patta, a tulsi patta? You give, my dear friend, I love you so much, so I give you this patta. I give you one tulsi leaf. Be satisfied with it. And friends say, Prabhuji, Mataji, patta is all right, but where is prasadam? Give me a bigger patta, kele ka patta. Give me some prasad. They are not satisfied with one patta. Krishna is the only one. Laddu Gopal, Jagannath Ji is the only one who are satisfied. Even Aniyor. I'm Tartah, I'm satisfied. Krishna is the only one. Everyone else, you give the millions of dollars, you give all your life, all your energy, and they'll say, Kya kiya hai tumne? What have you done for me? What have you done for me? 60 years, you spend your whole life. They are not satisfied. Krishna is fully satisfied. So this is called Param Dhama, supreme shelter. And you can see practically in your life, can you take this shelter in any other relationship other than Krishna? Obviously, Krishna has pure devotees. Yes, they are representative of Krishna's quality. So you can only take shelter in Krishna and in no one. That's why he's called Param Dhama. Param Dhama. Manmohan Prabhu, should I continue and take it later, or is it related to these two words?
Prabhu, you can continue. It's later, just about the first line you said about the qualities of Jiva and Krishna.
Okay.
So,
what's your question, Prabhuji? Because that's related to that word.
So, Prabhu, I mean, the question is that we are same in quality but different in quantity. But it comes to only the three qualities of Satchidananda. Because Krishna has 64 qualities which no one else has.
Yes.
So, according to that, if we are the same composition, we should also have those 64 qualities in minute quantity. But we don't have, in fact, Vishnu doesn't have those 4 qualities. So how do we explain that when it comes to, we are same in, quality, but actually we are not even in quality.
Yes, you're right. So Prabhu, two things can be said. Now, Prabhu's question is very nice. We'll read more about this in Nectar of Devotion. And as far as my understanding goes, so when we talk about same in quality with Krishna and we talk about Satchid Ananda, we are talking about the Tattva perspective. Tattva perspective means what's the philosophical truth? No? That's called Tattva. But when we talk about Rasa Tattva, so Rasa Tattva sort of supersedes this Tattva Tattva. Huh? Like when we say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the origin of everything. That's absolutely true. But when we say Radharani is the Supreme Mistress, she even controls Krishna. Now you can say in Tattva, Radharani also comes out of Krishna, right? But that's in Rasa. In Rasa, Krishna surrenders to Srimati Radharani. Krishna carries the shoes of Nanda Maharaj on his head. Huh? So is Nanda Maharaj greater? In one sense, not, because he's also come out of Krishna. He's also a devotee of Krishna. But in another sense, yes, he is greater, because Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, they are the parents, and parents are always greater. So we have to sort of distinguish between this Tattva and Rasa. So many times we're trying to mix these two things and will not get. So in Tattva perspective, Prabhuji, absolutely right. Krishna also is Satchidananda and we are also Satchidananda. But in Rasa perspective, then all the, like Venu is it's not Tattva, it's Rasa. So can Vishnu play flute? Definitely Vishnu can play flute. But can Vishnu play flute as good as Krishna? Now, who is Vishnu and who is Krishna? Many times actually said, even in Bhagavatam, these two words are interchangeably used and we should not hair split them between all the time. No, Vishnu and Krishna are same. But from Rasa perspective, we say, oh, Krishna, God at home, Vishnu, God in office. Makes sense. When you are at your home, you are in your, pajama, sitting relaxed in your chair nicely, and you're not worried about the formalities of the office. When you go in the office, I don't know how you go with that coat, pant, tie, suit, boot, whatever else. Formalities. You come home, you relax. So Krishna, God at home, Vishnu, God in office. And based on that sort of designation, we identify themselves. Otherwise, we should not hair split between these two words. And many examples in Bhagavatam as well. We're not going. 10th canto is there, 7th canto, Prahlad Maharaj pastime is there, Radharani pastime in 10th canto is also there, Gopi's separation from Krishna is also there. Does that help, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay. Let's move forward. So Pavitram Paramam. So you are not only Pavitra, you are Paramam Pavitra. Paramam Pavitra means supremely Pavitra. Supremely Pavitra refers to two things. It's referring to Krishna's qualities as well as what Krishna can give to us. So we are looking at Krishna, obviously Supreme Pavitra. He has no contamination. Many times people say, I'm a good person. I don't need to go to the temple. And he may be a good person. He's not harming anyone. He's fully vegetarian, having a very nice Vedic lifestyle and blah, blah, blah. But will you consider that person as a devotee? Because he is in mode of goodness, and mode of goodness in itself is a contamination, isn't it? It's a mode of material nature. And if it is a mode of material nature, it's a contamination. Now today, person may be in sattva, very nice person, but he may come to passion in ignorance. It's just a matter of time. But a devotee is always in Shuddha. He is not even in sattva. So Krishna is Pavitra, Paramam Pavitra, supremely Pavitra, and he has a power to make other as supremely Pavitra. Krishna's devotees are also supremely Pavitra. They have no contamination, including mode of goodness. They are always, like Prabhupada, for example, is always situated in Shuddha Sattva, not even in Sattva. Prabhupada is not just Sattva, is beyond Sattva, beyond material, modes of material nature. Bhavan refers to, so in Hindi we have a word aap. I don't know what you call in South India, Rasanand Prabhuji. Aap means respectful address to our elders. Like in Hindi we call it you, mane tum. Tum means when you're talking to your youngers, you call it twam. tum, you. But for our parents, for example, for any elders, we say aap. So here, Arjun mentality is changed. He's changed from sakha bhav to aap bhav. And this is where we'll see this distinction later as well in Bhagavad Gita. After Krishna will show the Virat Rupa, Arjun is sort of trembling and saying, Bhagwan, please come back to your two-handed form, Saumya Rupa. So this is the representative of Mathura Bhav. But in Braja, the Bhav is always you, you, and you. Even if Krishna shows the Brahmand in his mouth, Mother Yashoda is like, I think I have some problem with myself. How come I'm seeing this Brahmanda in the mouth of my little baby, little darling Krishna? So the problem is with me, not with Krishna. And here you see the relationship changed. Bhavan. Earlier, the word Bhavan is used by Duryodhana for Bhishma Pitama. Bhavan Bhishma Shakarnasha Kapasha Samitajjayaha. In the first chapter, I can't remember verse number 5th or 6th. So Bhavan means Aap. So Krishna, Arjuna is saying, Aap, you, respectful address to Krishna, you are Param Brahma, you are Supreme Brahma, you are Param Dhamma, supreme abode for everyone, and you are supremely purifying. Now, Prabhupada writes, you are the purest. Now, you are not only that, you are Purusham. Now, Purusham refers to his very personal address to Krishna. He's not saying you are a light, you are some divine light. No, you are Purusha. Purusha means you are a person, very personalistic address. And what sort of Purusha you are? Shashwat. Now, we can say, some males say in this class can say, I'm also Purusha, Prabhuji. But are we Shashwat Purusha? No, we have a DOB and we will have a DOE. We will not know, but everyone will have a DOE. Not will have, they all have it. We just don't know about it. Our date of expiry, we all have it. I heard in a class, we are all born with the death sentence in our head, isn't it? We all have this death sentence written on our head. Now, we can't read it, but it doesn't mean. Now, if I show you my mobile, how much data it carries, it has 64 GB memory. Can you see it? No, it doesn't mean it doesn't have it. So our forehead actually carries our unlimited lifetimes. Eligible person can read and tell. But we all have a death sentence on our head. And he says, Yamasya Karunanas, Yamraj will not even spare one moment extra. That's why we should do Kartavyam Hari Kirtanam. You should do Hari Kirtan all the time because Yamraj will not give you 1 second extra. 1 second extra. So today we are talking hours and hours, Prajalpa, criticism, some mundane things. There's no need for that. As much as possible, put your mind in Krishna. Purusham Shashwatam Divyam. And you are transcendental. You are not one of them. You are beyond everyone. Tribhud Gunmai Bhave Ibi Sarvam Idam Jagat. 7:13, where Krishna says, I am beyond these modes of material nature. So here Divya refers to obviously transcendental. Sometimes Divya will also refer to celestial, which we read in 9:20. They go to celestial planets and they enjoy for some time and then they come down. Adi Devam. You are not a Devata. You are Adi Deva. Adi Deva means you are the beginning. Adi means beginning. You are actually the origin of the Devatas as well. So you are not one of Devata, you are Adi Deva. We have Adi Dev Prabhu somewhere here. So Adi Dev actually is the name of Krishna taken from this particular verse. So Sundar Gopal Prabhu's son name is Adi Dev. So here's the word in Bhagavad Gita, Adi Dev. Ajam, you are Aja, you are unborn and Vibhum. Now we can say living tree is also Ajam. We are also Ajam, that's fine. Are we Vibhum? So there's a word called Anu, there's a word called Vibhus. Anu and Vibhu, they are called antonym. Antonym is opposite word. So we are Anu. We are Jiva is the Anu, but Vibhu means Lord, Master. So we are Ajam, but we are not Vibhum. Only Krishna is Vibhum. Now you can say in a friendly conversation, just for the purpose of debate, you can say in a friendly conversation, some friend can say, oh, you are the best person in the world. You are the best speaker. You are the best this and that. Two friends are talking and they can say that. But Arjun is giving his conclusion not based on his understanding, but he's giving backup statements from the great authorities. So he says, Ahu Swam Rishaya Sarve. Not only I am telling you this, Rishya Sarve, all the rishis are saying this. And then he takes the particular names of the rishis as well. Devarshir Narada Saka. So Narad Muni is the Dev Rishi. Now, maybe Arjun is saying Narad Muni Dev Rishi. No, not Arjun is saying, even Krishna will say in the same chapter. I can't remember the verse here. He says, of all the rishis, I am Narada. So Narad Muni is a great authority. in Bhakti, he says, I'm the Rishi Narad. Krishna says, my Vibhuti is a special person. I have empowered Narad Muni. Huh? He's such a great authority. Who else is saying this? Asit. Asit. Prabhupada talks about this Asit Rishi in passing away the Bhishma Dev. Prabhupada gives a list of, it's a big purport in one of the purports. I can't remember the verse when Bhishma is preparing to leave his body. Prabhupada has given, I don't know, around 10 to 12 pages of purport. He has given different rishis' name and he has given an introduction, like a paragraph for each. So there you see Asit Rishi is also mentioned there. He's also another great rishi. Deval Rishi is also mentioned. Deval Rishi is also mentioned in Bhagavatam in 8th canto. You remember Huhu, the crocodile in the previous birth was Huhu, and Huhu was cursed by Deval Rishi. Deval Rishi is also, what I've heard in another class, is the elder brother of Dhaumya Rishi, and Dhaumya Rishi is like a Kulguru of Pandavas. So Deval is also very much attached to Pandavas. Vyasa, everyone knows Vyasa. Vyasa is the author of practically all the Vedic literature. So all these great authorities, and Vyasa is also mentioned in the same chapter, 10th chapter. Later Krishna will say, in all the, I think, Kavis, he says, I'm Vyasa. Something like that he mentioned. He's my Vibhuti. So Vyasa is another great authority. Narad Muni is authority. Asit and Deval Rishis are authority. And the final authority, Arjun adds, Swayam Chaiva Bravishmi. Bravish means to speak. Me means to me. To me, you have spoken to me. Swayam, even you yourself have spoken these truths to me. So Arjun is not just saying these words, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. He's backing up with the statements of authorities like Vyasadeva, Narad Muni, and even you yourself. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these statements are the conclusory statements of Arjun's understanding so far, and is fully established by Krishna, by other authorities, including Arjuna, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there is no doubt about it. And one who understands this point, Buddha Bhava Samamita, they serve Krishna with all their hearts, and their whole life rest in Krishna. Okay, I'll stop here. If there's any question or comment, we'll quickly take, and then we'll move forward in future verses of Arjuna. Everyone fully satisfied? That's nice. So let's move to the 10:14. He sort of further elaborates his understanding. Who hasn't read? Charumataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Ahustvam raha rash.
10:14, Mataji.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Take it.
And 14. Sarvam etad ritam manye.
Sarvam etad ritam manye.
Yanmam vadasi Keshava.
Yanmam vadasi Keshava.
Nahi te Bhagavan Vyaktim.
Nahi te Bhagavan Vyaktim.
Vidur Devana Danavaha.
Vidur Devana Danavaha.
Translation. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons or Lord can understand your personality. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So Sarvam etat ritam manya. So ritam is used for truth. Sarvam, I accept. Manya means manta hu, I consider, in my opinion, whatever you have said, I consider everything as truth. Yan mam vadasi Keshav. Hey Keshav, whatever you have vadasi, whatever you have spoken, I consider all that as truth. But at the same time, I have to say one thing to you. So Arjun sort of very nicely says, what you have said to me, I accept it, no doubt about it. But I have one little question to you. What is that? Nahi te Bhagwan Vyaktim Vidur Dev na Danavaha. But to understand you as Bhagwan, na Deva na Danavaha. To understand you, my dear Lord, is very, very difficult. So many times we, even devotees, sort of discussing many points in Srimad Bhagavatam, in 10th canto, in some other pastimes of Krishna, some Ras Leela is going on, this and that going on, and say, I don't understand it. But actually, you don't have to understand every single thing at this stage, because everything is slowly will be revealed in your heart. Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashito. So a simple example which comes to my mind. if a student is going, year 3 or year 2, something like that, you'll say 2 minus 5. And you say, no, 2 minus 5 is not possible. What you'll say, the first number has to be bigger to do the minus. So it has to be 5 minus 5 or any numbers 5 then or above, 5, 6, 7, 8 or something like that. It's not possible. When the same guy goes to university, say in year 10 or something, 2 minus 5, is it possible? Of course it's possible. Of course. What's wrong in it? But now you say, but Prabhu, my dear dad or Prabhuji, you told me when I was in year 3, 2 minus 5 is not possible. Is it a contradictory statement? No, it's not. At that stage of life, you can only take 5 minus 5 or 6 minus 5, not 2 minus 5. So in the beginning, many knowledge will be given to us, which we will be able to take on that stage. And many knowledge are beyond our comprehension. But that's fine. We just have to wait, practice our Krishna consciousness very steadily, and later on we will be able to understand those truths as well. As Vyasadev, Narad Muni, Asit, Deval, Prabhupada, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, they are all explaining. They have so much regard for these leelas, which we have a doubt for. So we should not do too much further analysis on those things which we don't understand, because Arjuna is clearly saying, na deva, na danava. Even dev and danavas are unable to understand you. So who are we? So many times Chaitanya Charan calls it suspend judgment. Suspend judgment means I don't understand it. Just leave it. Just park it for a while. I do what I know. What I don't know, I don't know. That's all right. That's all right. A year 3 student will not know all the mathematics. Even PhDs will not know all the mathematics. They will only know what they know. So to understand Krishna, obviously we're not going to understand everything in day 1 or in year 1 in Krishna consciousness. One devotee, I still remember many years ago, probably 15, 16 years ago, I'm talking, and this devotee was telling, last year I was a junior devotee. That was the statement made. Last year, I was a junior devotee. So, what the inference is, now I have become a senior. And I was like, wow, 2 years journey in ISKCON, you have become a senior devotee now. Wow. I didn't say anything. And it was like full confidence. Like, last year I was a junior devotee, I'm like, okay, thank you, mother. And now you think you are a senior devotee, Even Prabhupada, Prahlad Maharaj will hesitate to make this statement, And we think last year I was a junior devotee. Now I have graduated. I've graduated. Okay, thank you. So we can appreciate, the more we go deeper, we appreciate how much more to go. And we find ourselves really very insignificant, very insignificant. Chaitanya Prabhu says many times, the more you know that the more I don't know. The more you know about, say, Bhagavad Gita, just a simple example, then you understand, really, actually, I don't know much. I really don't know much. The less you know, and then you think, I know a lot. When I went for a program, some random program in Damodar Mas, I never knew this family. And I went to this family, some Nepalese, nice people. And this Mataji was telling, one of your guys was trying to sell Bhagavad Gita to me. One of your guys, some ISKCON brahmacharis on the street would have met this lady. And they were trying to give Bhagavad Gita to this lady. And she was saying, they're selling me the Bhagavad Gita. I come from Nepal and you're Australian. You giving me Bhagavad Gita? I didn't say much. I'm saying, yeah, so do you know everything about? Of course I know. I think I asked something. She couldn't respond, but I was nice because she was hosting the program. But we have this, thing in our mind. You telling me about Bhagavad Gita? You Australian body or any other foreign bodied person telling me about Bhagavad Gita? I'm like, so what? So what? Why do we have this pride that we know Bhagavad Gita? And we are doing, honestly, we're reading Bhagavad Gita, and the more you read, you really feel, I feel at least, honestly, I'm being very, very honest here. Like, I really don't know about it. And I prayed to Krishna before coming to all of you. And I said, Krishna, please help me to present this knowledge in such a way so that it makes sense. And it's true. Because I can't do it. I can't do it. It is difficult. I feel it difficult. I feel it difficult. And it is so deep. It's so deep. Even the word meaning, even literal meanings are different. What to speak of contextual meaning and the philosophical meanings and the metaphorical meanings. There are layers and layers and layers. Each verse can be a big seminar in itself. And we're trying to squeeze so many verses in a class. And that also a person like me, like zero purity. And trying to speak something on these big verses is very difficult, actually, very, very difficult. So, but when we only realize after reading it, to be honest. Before reading, we'll also like, yeah, I know. Gita Bhagavad sab pata hai. I know all this Gita Bhagavad. It's not so easy. Okay. So he's saying na deva na danava. So it's just sort of expanding that Krishna is not easy to understand you. So it's basically a message for us. If we don't understand Krishna or some Leela of Krishna, is perfectly fine. Our gurus will know. And a time will come. My Guru Maharaj said, when you have done a lot of service for long period, then you will be able to get rid of your anarthas. He said that. So anyway, let's continue. 10.15. Who hasn't read as yet? Anyone can read. Jamati Mataji ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Swayam evatmanatmanam.
Swayam evatmanatmanam.
Vetatvam purushottama.
Vetatvam purushottama.
Bhuta bhava bhutesha.
Bhuta bhavana bhuteshu.
Deva deva jagatpate.
Deva deva jagatpate.
Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of all the universe.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
So now Arjun said to Krishna that, oh Krishna, na vidur na danava. So Deva and Danavas don't know you. So obviously Manushya should not think that I don't know, nothing big deal. Even Devas don't know Krishna. So now he's sort of concluding that statement. Actually, only you know yourself perfectly. He says, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. Swayam evatma atmanam. So Atma, yourself, who knows yourself? Only you know. And actually, as per Gaudiya Sampradaya, as per Rasa Bhav, even Krishna doesn't know himself fully. Because Krishna is ever expanding. As per Gaudiya, it's a rasa, it's not tattva, it's a rasa. Even Krishna doesn't know. So if we don't know, should we get surprised? So Prabhuji, can you please answer why Krishna stole the vastra of gopis? Prabhuji, I don't know. Once Prabhupada was visiting a family in India. So they hosted Prabhupada, they served nice prasadam. So, after prasadam, Prabhupada asked as a nice sadhu, he said, so how can I serve you? So Prabhupada ji, kuch katha sunaiye, tell me some katha. Prabhupada ji said, okay, you bring Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada ji, we want to hear Ras Leela of Krishna. Prabhupada said, no, we can have some other discussion. No, Prabhupada ji, we want to hear about Ras Leela. Prabhupada ji again humbly said, no, we can discuss some other topic of Krishna from Bhagavatam. No, Prabhupada ji, please, I want to hear Ras Leela. So Prabhupada said finally, you may be eligible to hear about Rasa Leela. I am not eligible to speak about Rasa Leela. So many times we become only Rasa Leela. There's nothing else in the Srimad Bhagavatam except Rasa Leela. Only Panchadhyaya is the only thing people want to hear. So this represents the kama, the lust of their heart actually, which they want to discuss and hear and sort of analyze from their angles. But Prabhupada said, you may be eligible to hear, I'm not. So many times devotees may not respond to you out of maybe lack of knowledge, and that's fine. Maybe lack of our authority on those topics, and they may refuse you. And so we should not judge, oh, this devotee doesn't know much. Maybe that's the case, maybe, and he's humbly accepting it. So that's fine. He doesn't know everything. No one knows everything. Even Krishna, only Krishna knows. And as per Gaudiya Acharyas, even Krishna doesn't know himself fully. So there's no competition amongst devotees of knowledge. There's no competition, no such. There's only thing in devotee circle is seva, and the quality of the seva. Not only the quantity, the quality of the seva as well. Everything else doesn't matter. Even an illiterate Angutha Chap person can be the best devotee of Krishna. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, externally he was Angutha Chap. And who was his disciple? Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, the topmost leader of his time. There was no parallel to Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj of his time in terms of scholarlyship. Even British will sit in his class with dictionary. His speeches were so eloquent. I was reading a commentary on Bhakti Brahma Samhita actually. Honestly, I could not comprehend much. I said, Prabhupada is so nice. Because Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj line, if you read, I was reading Bhaktivinoda Thakur one time for another book. Pakistan Maharaj, I literally concluded, mere liye Prabhupada ji theek hai. For me, Prabhupada ji is more than sufficient, actually, more than obviously. He explains in so simple language, which I can sort of relate with little bit at least. Pakistan Maharaj, scholarly type, obviously they're great devotees, but one aspect of their life is to present that form of scholarship was great. So we should never have this judgmental about others, especially he doesn't know, because Krishna is not to be known by knowledge part. Krishna is known by love, prem, and that prem in our sense is seva. How much seva we are doing and how we are doing that seva. So indeed, you only know your Vetatvam Purushottama. Now, Vetatvam is, Veta, Veda, Vid dhatu is there, the root. Now, Arjun gives 5 different addresses to Krishna in 5 different words. Again, putting the same point which he has said in 10.12. Let's see what those 5 different addresses are. Purushottama. You are Purushottama. You are Uttama amongst all the Purushas. You are the best of the Purusha. Bhut Bhavan. So Bhavan refers to you are the originator. Where all the Bhutas come from. Where they come from? From you. You are the origin of them. Not only you are the origin, you are a Bhuta. Isha. Isha means Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishna. Isha means, are we Ishwar? All of us are Ishwar? Anyone Ishwar here? Any Ishwars here? No one?
To some extent.
To small quantity. Minute quantity.
Small Ishwar.
We are all Ishwar. Thank you, Jamati Mother.
We are Ishwar, but not Parameshwar.
Thank you, Mother. So, Ishvara Parama Krishna. So, you are Bhuta Isha. Bhuta Isha means controller of the Bhutas. So, many times parents produce, say 5 kids and all 5 or 4 go out of control. Meri to koi baat hi nahi sunta. What 4, 2, 1, everyone is same boat. So we're all in the same boat. So we may be the generator of something, but we are not the controller of those things. Many times, if not all the time. But Krishna is not only the generator, but fully controlled. Why? Mrityu sarva haraschaham. No one, many times people say, Kaha hai God? Where is God? I don't believe in God. But they bow down to the death. Who's that death? Krishna. So they will eventually bow down to Krishna. No one can say, I don't bow down to Krishna. Everyone bows down to Krishna. Everyone bows down to Krishna. So our Acharya says, you can bow down to Krishna voluntarily or involuntarily. So you can bow down to Krishna voluntarily. Before the death, bow down to Krishna. Do pranam to Krishna. Or involuntarily, one day Krishna will take you out from this body. So everyone bows down to Krishna. So he is a Bhutesha. Deva Deva. He is not just a Devata. He is a Deva Deva. He is a Adi of the Deva. He is a master of Devas. When Devas have problem, where do they go? They go to Brahma, and Brahma says, even I cannot solve your problem. Let's go to my CEO. And they go to Chirataka Sai Vishnu. So he's a Deva Deva. And he is a Jagatapate. He's a master. He's a Jagannath. Jagannath means he's a lord of the universe. So 5 things. Purushottama, Bhut Bhavan, Bhutesha, Deva Deva, and Jagatpate. So again, giving more addresses to Krishna as the supreme absolute truth. 10:16. Now, in next 3 verses, Arjuna is going to request Krishna, I understand you are the supreme absolute truth, but not everyone understands this on day 1. So how do, this is from Lokhita perspective. Arjuna, as I said, Arjuna has fully understood Krishna. Arjuna's doubts are removed. But this is for Lokhita. He's saying how other will relate back with you as a supreme absolute truth. Can you please explain those ways by which normal person can relate with you in a day-to-day life? So that's a request which Arjuna is making to Krishna. Now, let's read these 3 verses. Vinay Prabhuji, would you like to read one?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Verse 16.
Yes.
Bhaktum arhasi asheshana.
Bhaktum arhasi asheshana.
Divyahi atma vibhutayah.
Divyahi atma vibhutayah.
Jabhi vibhuti vilokan.
Yabhir vibhuti bhir lokan.
Imam tam vyapatishthati.
Imam svam vyapyatisthasi.
Translation. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulence, by which you pervade all those words. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So Vaktum means to speak.
Arhasi. Arhasi means if you think I'm deserving, I'm able to hear. Because if you remember in Bhagavatam as well, many times when Parikshit Maharaj asking a question to his Guru Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami, he says, my dear Guru Maharaj, if you think I'm eligible to hear, tell me. So many times you may ask a question to your Guru Maharaj, but he may think you're not ready to hear the answer. So we should not be in a demanding mood. We should always be in a submissive mood, approaching to our spiritual master or to our authority. Say, if you think I'm eligible, please tell me. You cannot, please tell me how this is happening. So all the good devotees, they will add this word. Prabhupada said, you can ask Krishna something, because maybe my health will get well and blah, blah, blah. You can ask. But please add this, if you desire so. So you can have your material desire presented in front of Krishna. That's perfectly fine. No problem with that. Everyone wants to solve some problems. You can present to Krishna and say, Krishna, I'm having this issue. Can you please solve it? And Prabhupada said, don't order Krishna. If you desire so, please do, which can help my health or my family or whatever. So it can be presented in a very submissive mode. So Arjun is representing that principle of a good disciple. Asheshena. So how much is your opulences? Is Asheshena. So please tell me in Asheshena. So Arjun is not saying, Krishna, tell me something in 2 minutes. I have to go to work. I have to go and attend this and that. Arjun is saying, Asheshena, tell nicely, nicely. So Radha Maharaj was saying many times, some people come to him. He was just saying in his own words. They come and say, Maharaj, 2 minutes mein kuch bata dijiye. Maharaj, tell me something quickly. In 2 minutes, tell me something. And Maharaj said, what can you say in 2 minutes? People are in rush. So he said, when you go to your spiritual master, you should show to your spiritual master, you have all the time in the world, then he can impart some knowledge to you. If you say, spiritual master, Maharaj, I'm in rush, but please, give me one instruction. And Maharaj will say, go and attend what you need to attend. So it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. You have to present yourself fully in front of your master. Asheshena. What you have, please tell me what you have to, what you can tell me. Divya hi atma vibhutayaha. You tell your vibhutis. Vibhutis means opulences. Vishesh. V means vishesh. Bhuta. Bhut means beings in the material world which we see, which are very special. One example comes to my mind, Dev Rishi, Narad. Narad Muni is very, very special. Vyas Muni is very special. He's not just one Rishi. Other Rishis are also respectable. Narad Rishi is very special, very, very special. He's called a Vibhuti. And Krishna says, I sort of empowered. Like sometimes we say Prabhupada was empowered by Nityananda Prabhu. Prabhupada is very, very special. He's not another great saint. He's very, very unique. My Guru Maharaj said, Prabhupada only comes once in a day of Brahma. He's not just a rishi, a saint, acharya. He's an acharya which actually follows in the line of Krishna. Krishna only comes once in a day of Brahma. Prabhupada also comes once in a day of Brahma. So Guru Maharaj said, there is no other Prabhupada. There is no other Prabhupada. There's only one Prabhupada. It's so special, so dear to Krishna. Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale. Krishna is personally sent for his personal purpose to Prabhupada, to Bhutale, to this earth. So Divya hi Atma Vibhutya, your Vibhuti. Please tell me in Asheshena, in detail. Yavir Vibhutibhir Lokan. So through these Vibhutis, what you have done? Imam Swam Vyapya. Vyapya means bhar diya hai. You have just filled everything. And Prabhupada writes, by which you pervade all these words. So please tell me more Vibhutis, your Atma Vibhutis, by which you pervade this whole world. So please tell me in detail, Asheshena, your divine opulences, Atma Vibhutiyaha, by which you pervade, Vyapya, Imam Twams, these words. So we will just continue requesting more. 10:17. Who hasn't read as yet?
I can read, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Katham vidyam aham yogins.
Katham vidyam aham yogins.
Tvam sada parichintayan.
Tvam sada parichintayan.
Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu.
Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu.
Chintayosi bhagavan maya.
Chintayosi bhagavan maya.
Translation. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? Thank you, Prabhu.
So, O Krishna, Supreme Mystic, Katham Vidyam Aham Yogim. So, Katham Vidyam, again, Vidya Dhatu is used here. How would I know you? So, how would I know you in such a way, Yogim, so that I can establish this yoga, this connection with you? Tvam Sada Parichintayan. So, Paritajja, Chintayan, Parichintayan. So, Chintan refers to Chintan of Bhagwan. Parichintayan, complete Chintan of Bhagwan. How often I want to do Chintan of Bhagwan? Sada Parichintayan. So please tell me in such a way so that I am able to remember you all the time. Keshu Keshu cha bhavesu chintyosi Bhagavan Maya. In what various forms you are to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. So again, requesting in a very humble way, he's trying to connect with Krishna all the time. And this is called Krishna consciousness, Sada Parichin. So if we take a key word from this verse is Sada Parichintan. So think about Krishna all the time. Smrattabhyo Sattam Vishnu, Vismrattabhyo na jatuchit. Padma Puran says we should remember Krishna all the time and never forget Krishna. 10:18. Anyone? Yes, Vijay Gopi Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Vistarena Atmana Yogam.
Vistarena Atmano Yogam.
Vibhutim cha Janardana.
Vibhutim cha Janardana.
Bhuya Kataya Tripirhe.
Bhuya Kataya Triptirhi.
Shinvato Nasti Me Mritam.
Shinvano Nasti Me Mritam.
O Janardana, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, Vistarena, everyone know Vistar se batao. Huh? Tell me in detail. So don't make a shortcut. So this shows the heart of Arjuna. He's hungry in the heart. Same heart you will see of Parikshit Maharaj when Shukdev Goswami in 10.1 is telling something very fast. So Parikshit Maharaj stops Shukdev's saying, Maharaj, there is no rush. Don't think I have not eaten. I have not slept for last 6 days. Please tell me in detail. Huh? You see many times when like-minded devotees come, they don't like to rest. They talk about Krishna in detail and you really relish it. Many times actually, I feel, I'm sure you also feel, Maharaj will say in a class, up time ho gaya, we'll stop. I'm like, why stop? Please tell more. Please tell. Why are you stopping? But obviously, wherever Maharaj is giving lecture, he has a time schedule and he has to follow. But many times, you feel it or no? Huh? Aur batao, please tell more, please tell what happened. Your heart just goes for it, please. Huh? So you can see the hunger of Arjun's heart. Vistarena. Huh? The last word also is Asheshena. He is saying Vistarena. Huh? Tell everything to me. Now, how can Krishna tell everything? Means he can tell, but we can't listen. He says, Ananta Shesh is glorifying Krishna from his infinite heads, from infinite time and memorial. Still he is not able to finish explaining the glories of Krishna. That's why his name is Ananta. It has many more meanings, but one meaning is that. So his name is Ananta. So no one can explain the glories of Krishna in full. But this shows the heart of a devotee. So take it from Arjun's heart's perspective. He's so curious. Vibhutim cha Janardana. Janardana means one who is doing palan of the janta. Jana means lok. And Ardhan means to do palan. So he's looking after the people. So you're looking after the people, you please look after me as well. And how I will be looked after? Please tell me in detail about your vibhutis. Bhuya katya triptir shanvato na asti. So I am not able to get the trapti, santushti. I'm not able to get santushti, satisfaction in my heart. Shanvato na asti. So by listening, I'm not getting thirsty. Why? Because I'm getting this amrita in that. So this is basically the heart of Arjuna is so curious to hear. It says, unless you present your curiosity, your hunger to your master, to your spiritual master, the real knowledge will not be revealed. So if you show that you are not hungry, you'll not get food. When you show you are really hungry, I was talking about this beggar. When beggar says, I'm really hungry, mother, please give me half roti or just give me, 5 rupees so that I can buy something. You get some emotion for that beggar. But if that beggar says, I've eaten a feast in 5-star hotel yesterday and today I'm going this 3-star hotel. I just need 3,000 rupees. I already have 13,000. So the hunger is not shown, their heart will not melt. So you have to show your hunger to your master, to Krishna. Then master will reveal the deepest knowledge with you, because he knows you're really hungry. Now Krishna will start responding. So we'll just do like 1 or 2 verses, just an introduction, and then we'll start from the next week, his vibhutis. Who hasn't done as yet?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha.
Hantate katha yasyami.
Hantate kadayashyami.
Divyahi atma vibhutaya.
Divyahi atma vibhutaya.
Pradhayanta pradhanyanta kuru shreshta.
Pradhanyatah kuru shreshta.
Nasti anto vistarayasme.
Nasti anto vistarasya me.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulences is limitless." Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. So Hanta refers to yes. I really like this word Hanta. So when my master is saying yes, so he's agreed to my proposal. Oh, that's a great thing. He has agreed to it. But he is giving certain conditions. What he is giving? Katishyami. Katishyami is future tense. So it's a sense with Ishyami. It refers to the future tense. Kathan means to speak. So I will speak to you. Now I'm going to speak to you. I will speak to you. But Divya hi Atma Bhutaya. So the same line is used by Arjun, right? You remember in the 2 previous verses? Same line, Krishna. I will explain to you my transcendental Divya Vibhutis. I'll explain to you. But Pradhanyataha. So Pradhan word, everyone knows that word in Hindi at least. Pradhan means the main one. So I'll only speak to you my main Vibhutis, Kurusheshta, Arjun. Na asti anto. There is no anta to my Vibhutis. So Vistarasya me. So I will not explain you all the Vibhutis, but I'll explain you few Vibhutis of mine. So that Krishna agreed to Arjun's proposal. Now, this I will stop. We will do in the next class. It's already 5:42. Only 3 minutes to go. This is where Krishna will start explaining his Vibhutis, and there are 21 verses like that. And then he will sort of conclude in the last 2 verses. There are 42 verses in the 10th chapter. So next class, we'll read all these Vibhutis given in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter. Okay. Any questions or comments? I have one announcement. Everyone is curious. Okay, Sundar Gopal Prabhuji, you are here.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, I've deliberately turned off my camera because my internet's very badly behaving.
No problem, Prabhuji, no problem.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we want to say something about today's assignment, Prabhuji?
Prabhuji, most of the assignment is there, but there are still a few that they need to submit.
So humble request to all the devotees if they can please submit by midnight tonight. So that's the proposal we have. No more acceptance of the assignments. So 11:59 p.m. We have around 6 hours. If you could please submit, even if it's not in the best shape, I would literally say please submit it. Do not wait for tomorrow, and you can do fine tuning later. But we're just following a principle here. So from tomorrow onwards, there will not be any acceptance, and it carries 40% marks for your Bhakti Shastri degree. Sorry, just technically speaking. So if you could please submit, again repeating, even if it's not in the best shape. I think there are 7-8 devotees who has not submitted, so please submit it by tonight. Just following commitments in Krishna consciousness. Just a humble request. Okay. Anything else on that, Prabhu?
Not really, Prabhu. Nothing from my side.
Okay. So we will be reading this 10th chapter next week following, and also looks like the exam will be somewhere in July. So please be ready for the second module exam. So 10 and 11 mostly are Vibhutis of Krishna. So there's not much philosophy there. And obviously I'll pick up the philosophical points as we move forward. So the 11th chapter is pretty big, but it's actually very short, philosophically speaking. And 12th chapter is only 20 verses. So please be mentally ready towards the end of the July for having Module 2 exam. So prepare accordingly. And obviously we'll announce the date at least a month before, and we'll follow those dates accordingly. And the similar pattern will be done There will not be any 2 exams this time, like what we did in Module 1. Some devotees were not available. So please make sure you're available. You are fully ready. And as I said, we'll somewhere in end of July, and we'll announce the date at least a month before, if not. So I just don't want to announce right now, and we are still in the middle of 12th chapter. And I was thinking the backup of that will be, we'll just take some extra classes towards the end, 1 or 2 extra classes just to cover up of. So end of July, we'll try to do the exam. And it's Purushottam Mass as well. It's starting from 18th of July. So very, very auspicious. Whatever services we do in that month is very good. So it's good in that sense as well. Okay, let's stop here, and I'll give you 6 hours and 14 minutes to prepare your final assignment if you haven't done it. And we'll see you next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.